Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped, and welcome to this week's Midweek 180. Huzzah! I am actually at home today. Although actually I've been at a car launch today, but more about that later. But I am back just in time. It's just about to get dark. It's Tuesday evening. I'm busy tomorrow, so I've got to film the Midweek 180 tonight. If you've not seen one of these before, this is my midweek update where I bring you my news, views, and information about upcoming reviews, all filmed in one take. I am this week going to put the timer back on again, 180 seconds in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. And that's it, a very simple format. Now, much to talk about this week. I'm bound to run out of time, but hey, let's get cracking with this week's Midweek 180. I shall start my timer. Glasses on. Okay, leader of the pack last week was Rod Matheson. Well done, my friend. Joined in the Magnificent Seven by Paul Mead, Jake Warren, Francois G, Thomas Sneath, Paul G, and Leanne Jackson. So whoever was the first comment this week, you'll be my leader of the pack next week, and the first 7 comments will be in my Magnificent 7. Where are you and what you're doing? Well, that was Andrew Covage, who had just tested positive for COVID-19, was having to self-isolate, which meant he missed a trip to Norway to see the Northern Lights. Mate, gutted for you. I know you're gutted. The only thing is, there's a good chance you could have got there and not seen the Northern Lights, like that's what happened to me when I went to Iceland. But anyway, wherever you are right now, whatever you're doing, put it in the comments below and I'll give you a shout out next week. Hopefully, Andrew, you're feeling better. Last week's question was car movies. I have a big list to watch. I actually, over the weekend, I watched the full Le Mans film with Steve McQueen. I only watched bits of it. I'd never watched it in its entirety. Hopefully, you tuned in on Monday to see the reveal of my Steve McQueen tribute helmet. This week's question, spurred on by the test I've been on today. When you're buying a car, I have always been one to try and buy the very highest spec I can. I'm not really a big fan of base spec cars at all. I want something that feels nice inside with all the toys, and I'd actually rather buy an older car to get that than a newer car and get a base spec. I'd love to know what you think. F1 at the weekend, Japanese Grand Prix. Always love races from Japan. It was wet. Luckily, because of the morning timing, it was on Skybox, so I could fast forward all the kind of red flag stuff. And obviously, we got a bit of a race, I guess, just to say congrats to Max Verstappen for winning his first World Championship. And then the big thing, the shock out of the weekend, was Danny Ric not being on the grid next year. I'd love to know what you think, how he got into that situation. Was it greed? Was he just bad timing? What was it? What are your thoughts on that? I don't think he's had the best management, if I'm honest. I think he probably should have stayed put at Renault and look where he'd be now with Alpine on the rise. This week's new car, well, it's not really a new car, it's the F-Type, but it's the 75th anniversary of Jaguar, and they're doing an F-Type special, the very last facelift or refresh of the F-Type before it disappears. The F-Type 75 and the F-Type 75R, both of the 5-litre V8, depending on which power variant you want. It's basically an upgraded interior and exterior, available next year. I think it should be very, very nice. I do love an F-Type. Other news this week, very briefly, Carfection closing. I don't know if you spotted that one. Absolutely gutted for me. Probably make the best content, car content on YouTube. Henry Catchpole, though, luckily is going to Haggerty. And if the video he's put up on that so far, he's put a GT3 RS video, which is just excellent, very Carfection-esque. But it is sad to see Carfection going. I always questioned how they could possibly justify the production values of those amazing videos that we all aspired to, and looking at the revenues you get from YouTube. And I am going to run out of time, but never mind. Yeah, you know, he'd rock up and make these amazing videos, but he'd have a couple of people on camera, he'd probably have an edit crew and a lot of funding behind the channel. And that, for creators like me, is just simply not possible. I'm a self-shooter. I have to do everything myself. I can't even employ someone to do my editing. So I know they were a bigger channel and they got bigger views, but they made some amazing, amazing content, some amazing videos. And I'll now be watching Henry on Haggerty and still aspiring to make content half as good as he does. I was at a Kia launch today, so the press drives of the new Kia XCeed, a kind of crossover, compact crossover. That video will go live on Friday at 6. And then, very excitingly, on Friday this week, I'm off to Sicily with Maserati to drive the new MC20 Cielo, which is basically an MT20 Spider. I am super excited about that. Not quite sure when the video will be brought to you. Maybe Monday, if not next Friday. I've got a track day tomorrow. I've got my Masters driving test on Thursday. I had my last Masters session yesterday, and it went really, really well. If I drive like that, hopefully I'll be okay, but I'm never taking any anything for granted. I've got to absolutely drive my best on Thursday morning to pass my masters. So if you don't follow me on social, please make sure you follow me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and I'll put an update on there on Thursday afternoon to let you know how I got on, and I'll mention it next week's Midweek 180. But yeah, very nervous about that one. But I know I'm good enough if I drive like I can. That's as simple as that. I've just got to go and enjoy the drive, and there we go. But lots on. I hope all of you guys are well. I've been a bit under the weather the last few days. I've had a bit of a cold, which just hasn't sort of knocked me out a little bit, but I'm slowly coming back from it. I need to get on with my training for my Ironman very soon as well. But anyway, I'm waffling. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come. Thank you for all the messages about my new Steve McQueen tribute helmet. The video's doing okay. Mega watch time numbers, just not got the views. If you haven't watched it, it is a long one, but it was an amazing process to follow, and I'm really pleased with the way the film's come out. So I'll put a link above right now. Please go off and watch Monday's video, my Steve McQueen helmet. And look at that, who's Mr. Bradley Carr? Looks like he's, yeah, Bradley's texting me. Anyway, I'll see you on the next film, guys. You take care. Drive safe.